In today's video, I'm gonna show you how I made these slippers, because I used to watch everyone complaining about slippers that are too slippery on the floor. I decided to make mine with rubber on the bottom. And what's cool about these shoes is that you can use any flip-flops you have at home, and I'm gonna explain for you on the way how I did it. And there you have slippers with rubber shoes that you can wear outside as well. And that's what I like about it, because my home's near the beach and it's always full of sand, so I can wear them. I'm gonna try them on to see, for you guys to see how they fit. So guys, let's get started making this beautiful slippers tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed the process as much as I did. For this tutorial today of slippers with rubber soles, what we're gonna need is first the rubber soles. What I like you to buy, if you are making this pattern, is a sole that has at least 1 centimeter or half of an inch of thickness, just because we need this thickness to punch the holes. Otherwise this will be too thin and the holes are going to break. This one is a little more thicker, and that's actually my favorite one. It is here on the widest piece of it. It's 3/4 of an inch. And here is 1/2 an inch, just exactly like the other one, okay? I'm gonna show you how to punch the holes through this one, because that's the one I said for you to purchase in the pattern, and I think it's the best one. But I'm going to be actually using this one to finish the pattern after, only because I already made the other side, which is here, okay, with this same one here. Their sizes are very very similar. The Havaianas tend to be a little bigger because it goes from one size all the way to the biggest size, so it's more on the biggest size. If you know, here are the sizes in US and Europe for you guys to have a look. But this is all calculated in the table that's in the pattern, okay, for you guys to just purchase the right size for you guys. I'm going to be using this instrument here to punch holes. You can buy this anywhere, and it's really sharp here, and it punches holes really easy through the rubber. And I'm gonna show you how to punch the holes and everything. And I'm going to be using a 2.5 millimeters hook just to work around the rubber soles and punch these holes here, and actually work the single crochets around the sole. As you can see, it looks really neat at the end. And this is why we need this thickness, because we're gonna punch the holes right in the middle of the sole. And then a little bigger crochet hook, 3.5 millimeters. Tapestry needle just to seam the tube of the knitting machine to the sole, and my Sentro 22, which can be any knitting machine with 22 needles in this case, okay? I'm going to be using 100 grams of yarn. The yarn that I recommend you to use is the Ferris wheel, but you can use any acrylic yarn as well. If that's what you have, you can use just normal worsted weight acrylic yarn. It has to be worsted weight, guys, because otherwise these part here would be too flimsy. I recommend worsted weight size 4 yarn. So let's get started, guys. I'm gonna show you how to punch these holes on the right place, and then after that we are going to finish with the tube. Now, if you are using these soles here, first thing I want you to do is just to remove this. You can usually do that just by folding and pulling it off. Out. And then after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut. I'm gonna cut this piece here around there. And just have a look if you... Yeah, just around there. So you wanna cover all the holes after this, after you cut it. So... And then just put a bit of glue so it won't come out while you are wearing it. Just like this. And then repeat for the other one. Close the 3 holes so nothing will come through it while you're walking or anything. And then after that, repeat the same thing for the other side. And then I'm gonna just show you how to punch the holes. Because you don't really want the crochet touching the floor. What you're gonna do is punch the hole through the middle of the sole to the top. And you wanna aim for around half of centimeter this way. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect, and that's why I don't actually measure it, but you wanna aim for around here somewhere. And you can probably just draw a line maybe around here so you know. I really do this by eye, just by looking at it, but you can draw a line here as well. And you can also draw a line here if you need, okay? I don't think it's necessary. It's really easy to punch these holes. So, from here, a little more than the middle to the top. Right there. And then some people put the finger around here somewhere. The other time I made too close. And you can go a little deeper to open the hole a little more. And then right there. The more you open this hole, the easier it's gonna be after. Okay, so here are the holes. They're separated almost a centimeter wide, a little less. It's here and here. And now here on the back of it, I'm going to use that same measurement from the back, from the front. So it's gonna be a little more space there on the bottom, and then just punch the hole. It's too much. A little bit more like this. This is the position you have to use, okay? And then little bit spread apart and straight up. And then go a little, put all the way so it opens more. Because after this, what you have to do is you're gonna use this hook here to grab the yarn and pull through. That's why you need this very open. Okay, so I'm going to keep making my holes until I finish, and then I'll come back with you, not with this sole, but with this sole that I already used for the other side. Now, after you made all these holes, there'll be a little bit of rubber coming out of them, and this will come out as you make it, so don't worry about it. I am using my 2.5 millimeters hook, this one here, which is the perfect one to just make through the holes here. You can use a little bigger, but then it might be a little difficult to bring the yarn back. As you can see, it still fits. That's a 2.75 millimeters hook. But I think in my, I just prefer this one, okay? Make a slip knot with the yarn. And if you are using a yarn that splits too much, like this one splits a little bit, I can still use it. But if your yarn splits a lot, make sure you use a yarn, acrylic yarn in a similar color that won't split that much, because it will be easier, okay? Okay, so to start this, just make a slip knot. Maybe leave a longer tail so you can hide this tail after. Just a little longer. And make a slip knot. Then grab your sole, put the hook through. I like to use the bigger side of this one. Here, put the hook through this way, and then put the loop this way and just pull through. It's probably the hardest part of this whole tutorial, but I like doing it. I don't know. And then make a single crochet. Okay, then what you're gonna do is put through here, wrap your yarn around the loop, around the hook this way, and pull through. It might be hard at times, it's just because I'm showing you here now. That's not the way that I normally do. Then just bring that yarn over, pull through both. The hook through, pull the yarn this way, and you can try to find a better way for you, but for me this was the best way, because the yarn will come through the hole easier this way. Just pull straight there. There you go. And make one stitch. Just straight. And as you can see, the rubber starts coming out of the holes. And this is how it's going to look like after. And it's gonna be perfect to seam the tube on top of it after. So I'm going to keep making this. There's no mystery, it's just a repetition throughout. Even on even around the corners here is the same way. And as you're getting used to it, it will become easier. Just really find the position you prefer to make this, and sometimes if you pull it a little more, the hook will open the hole a little more as well, and it will be easier just to pull the yarn. Okay, so I'll be repeating this all around this piece, and then we are going to be making the rest of these slippers. And then here it is. As soon as you finish passing the yarn through all the holes, what you're gonna do is just a slip stitch into that first stitch. This way, and then just like this. And then just cut the yarn. Just make a knot with both of them. And then the other one as well. And now I'm gonna show you how to make the tube. And then you can cut because we are going to seam on the top anyway, so they're gonna stay there. Okay, and now let's grab our Sentro 22 to make the tube and then finish this. But that's how it looks like on the sides. I really like this type of work, it's so nice to make. This is, so you guys know, this is the third time that I'm making a shoe like this, so it's not very hard, guy. I'm a beginner on this as much as you are, okay? So let's grab the machine. So cast on using waste yarn. And then make 3 rows with this waste yarn. Then put the yarn in there and then grab the yarn you are going to use and place right in front of the needle. You don't need to leave much yarn because we won't need this to bind off the stitches, okay? So now make enough rows, make the amount of rows that says in the pattern for your size already calculated there. And I'll be making 86 rows for my size. I'm going to go very slow because this machine, the crank's not working well anymore, unfortunately. Okay, so I'll be making 86 rows now. And then to cast off, just make 1 full row without the yarn. I'm having such a hard time with this machine, guys. If you ever see this machine here, this 22, don't buy it because seriously, that's my 3rd project and it's already doing this. Okay, and now just with a tapestry needle with some waste yarn, just remove all the stitches from here. And you can also cut this yarn here because we are done with it. Yeah, this machine, I don't know what happens with it. I think it has space in between the gears. And so the crank can't really crank with if there is any tension at all. So I don't know. I want to buy an IG40, an IG22 for me. So yeah, if you are watching this video, just make sure you don't buy this machine. Okay, here's our tube, and now let's put it all together. Now fold this one of the sides of this tube in half to start binding off the stitches. We're going to bind off a very simple way, and so make sure the tail is right on the other end, and just make sure all the stitches they match here side by side. And then we're gonna put the hook through the first and the second one and simply pull the second inside the first one. And then go to the other side, always the opposite end, always the opposite side. And just pulling it through. Always making sure you grab the last loop. And that's why it's so important to have a very contrasting color, guys, because it's so much easier to see the stitches while you're working. Make sure you grab all the stitches. This is the last one. Then just pass the tail through to finish it off. And then now remove this. There's always a little knot on the beginning here for the waste yarn. And then I like to pull it just to see which one it is I have to pull. Because if you pull the wrong one, it's so hard to remove after. Believe me, I did it before. Awesome. Now I'm going to grab another yarn because this yarn is not really good for seaming because it does this quite easy. It's not a very strong yarn, so I'm going to grab another one. So guys, I did close both sides only because I wanted this side to be exactly the same as the other side. So, and because this light color is in behind there, I started it right on the toe, so that's what I'm starting here. And I got another type of yarn that's more resistant. And just make a knot here. 2 knots. You can also hide this tail right now if you want. And then I'm going to start right here on the toe, so when I get here with the other side, it's gonna layer on top of the other, if I can say that. But anyway, just put it through here. And then one more time just to secure it. Put this tail inside and then we hide it later. Okay, and then now it's just really seam it. I like to stretch this part a little bit and then just make sure they are in the same position on both sides around here. And then as you seam it, just grab both loops on each side. And also grab around 1.5 meters of yarn, because you're gonna kind of need a fair bit of yarn to seam this. Because you wanna go through every little stitch to make it stronger. And if you stretch to the place, it's going to get the shape of it. And then as you go, it's quite a satisfying project to make, I think. I like being able to make my own shoes, it's really cool. And here, maybe try to hide a little this bit on the back there. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put through, as you can see, I always put the yarn through both of the loops. And then on the other side, I'm going to matrix stitch. So I'm going to put the needle through the middle of these 2 stitches here, which you can't really see. That's only because the first one here gets easier after. Just gonna show you. And then through the second one. And if you like making any other stitch here, you can make other stitches as well. And then just put the needle through right in the middle of both stitches. I'll be making 2 by 2 and sometimes 1 by 1. So really I need to, when this is in the middle, as you can see, I'm going to stretch a bit, and that's necessary for the fitting. So in here. So if you wanna maybe add a marker here or something so you know where you're at, but I didn't really need it. You can even hold like this as well so you know where you have to get to. You need to go through two rows at a time in one side and only one on the other side in order for this to work. Okay, so I'm gonna go all around it, and then when I get here I show you how I do it, but it's just really layer one side on top of the other one like I did here.